I'm Patrick Earl, Economic Development Officer for Wheatland County, and we're doing this WC conversation tonight, looking at the community of Carseland, just in the southwest corner of Wheatland County. And today, I just want to have everybody just do an introduction roundtable. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do in Carseland, and we'll start with Georgina.
Hi, I am a 19-year resident of Carseland, Alberta. I'm an occupational health and safety practitioner by profession. Love living out here, and I actually have the pleasure of being the president of the Carseland Community Association and Agricultural Society.
Excellent. And how about you, Jen?
I've been in Carseland for 21 years. And I have my family here. I am the outgoing president of the Carseland Ag Society, and I've served on a lot of the boards here.
Great. And how about you, Chris?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me, Patrick. Yeah, I'm Chris Page. So I was born and raised around the Carseland area. Currently live in the area still, and I work at Nutrien, that's just west of town.
Okay. And Mark, how about you?
Mark Simon, and I've been out here about 30 years or so, in the area anyways. And I started a parts store here a couple of years ago. And yeah, that's
Awesome.
Love the area. It's a great place to work and live.
Great. So I'm going to go around with the first question, and we'll just go around the room here. And I'll start with you, Mark. What makes Carseland a great place to live?
It just got so many amenities, and I mean the freedom out here. There's not very many people. You got the river, you got tons of places to take your dogs and walk and kayak and whatever you might want to do. I think it's almost like a resort place, but there's no resorts. I love it.
Great. And how about you, Chris?
Yeah, I like it out here. It's a small community. I guess, like you said, I was raised here, and I moved back to the area about 9 years ago with my wife. We have 2 young kids, and I just think it's a really great place to raise a family. The people in and around town, they're just really friendly, kind of willing to help each other out all the time, sort of people. And also there's a great school in Carseland, so that's a big plus for us as well.
Sounds good. And Jen, how about you?
I have to agree. It's really nice to be close enough to the city that we can just jump in there quickly, but we're still outside in the rural area, so it's nice and quiet. Great place to raise your kids. Both my kids went to Carseland School, and yeah, I can't say enough good about it. There's lots of stuff to do here.
Sounds good. And Georgina, how about you?
One of the things that really caught me about Carseland within the first year of living here was the school. We moved from Calgary out here. I grew up on a farm, so getting my daughter outside of the city was really key for us. And the elementary school here is fantastic. And then they have support from Strathmore with the junior high and high school as well. Great programs for families to raise your families. Plus, as Mark had mentioned, lots of outdoor activities and access to the Bull River. Some of the best fishing out here anywhere in Alberta. And as Chris had mentioned too, neighbors helping neighbors. We've had some challenges with some natural issues out here with fires and snowstorms and ice storms. And one big thing about this community is it's a true community. Whether it's the farmers coming in and bringing in their equipment to help us make fire breaks, or it's people running bobcats or just helping each other, making sure everybody's okay. It's really awesome.
Sounds great. And our next question will go around again, and we'll start with Mark. And Mark, what can people do here in Carseland for recreation and social? You mentioned being close to the river, and do you want to sort of elaborate more on that?
Yeah, the river, like Georgina was saying, fishing, kayaking, camping. There's a really good curling club as well if people want to get involved in that. The ice rink. There's a pretty big social scene as far as all that kind of stuff goes. probably more that I'm forgetting, but yeah, it's a very social area. Everyone knows each other.
Excellent. And how about you, Jen? Anything to add in there?
Yeah, we've got lots of different community groups as well that a lot of the big cities and things like that don't know about. We've got our Ag Society, our curling club, the Jet Setters is a seniors group, the Public Benefit Club, the Lions. They all help to raise money to keep our little community going. And I think that's super important part of our small town.
Sounds great. And how about you, Chris?
Yeah, I don't know. There's lots of stuff to do. The Bull River area is a really big attraction. You know, exploring. There's the campground down there. That's nice and close. So that's really good. And yeah, one of the biggest things is there's just lots of space to get out and be active, kind of for all ages, really. There's everything. There's hiking. There's the golf course, like you said, the curling rink, the ball diamonds, the hockey rink, and all that stuff. There's lots of stuff to do kind of year round.
Great. Yeah, it sounds like an amazing place. And Georgina, anything that long list didn't include?
One thing we do really try hard at is to make sure that we engage with the youth in the community. So we have a minor sports league here, and as Chris mentioned, we got some pretty awesome facilities, outdoor facilities. And we tried to start our youth curling club this year, but with COVID and everything, we had some challenges there. But we're going to make sure we push forward and help support that next year. We have pickleball. We have basketball hoops when the ice isn't in the skating rink. So lots and lots of activities to try to keep the health and wellness balance. And thanks to Nutrien, we have a community garden as well. So access for families to grow their own veggies and kind of teach the kids a little bit about getting their fingers dirty and helping take care of the family too.
Great. And Georgina, how about how close is Carseland to say Calgary, Lethbridge, Strathmore, Chestermere, Langdon, etc.?
So because I drive a lot for my job, it's funny because I've got this almost down to the minute. I hate to say in a good way and in a bad way. Calgary's less than 50 kilometers from here, so you can be in the city limit within the city limits at the south end of the city in about 40 minutes from here. Strathmore, Langdon, and Chestermere are all under 30 minutes from us. Lethbridge is the furthest out. It's about an hour and 20, an hour and 30 minutes, about 140 kilometers to Lethbridge from here. So we have lots of access to the city, to Strathmore, so the amenities are very great. And like the guys say, but we keep our community small and quiet, and we like that, I think.
Sounds great. And highly detailed, thanks. Jennifer, what types of shops and services are there in Carseland?
Oh, actually, we've got everything that we need here, and then we're close enough for anything that isn't here. But we've got a bank, we've got a post office, we've got Mark's Parts, we've got a restaurant, a gas station, we've got a coffee shop, a fire hall, we've got a school and a community center. We've also got a couple of little pubs and a liquor store. So we've got everything that we need and close enough for anything else.
Great. And Mark, being a shop owner in town, what do you see as your market and servicing area? Like, where are your customers coming from besides Carseland?
All the way from Airwood to close to Langdon. A lot of them from Strathmore, because Strathmore doesn't have a power sports or an RV place anymore, so they get that stuff from me. And then probably like out to Siksika. About that type of circle.
Okay, great. And then Chris, being with Nutrien, one of the largest employers in the area, what does Nutrien produce?
Yeah, so the Carseland plant produces anhydrous ammonia and granular urea, and also ESN, which is environmentally smart nitrogen. That's a controlled release fertilizer. We also have a cogen unit, which is a partnership with TC Energy that produces about 80 megawatts of electricity that gets put onto the Alberta power grid.
Okay. And how does Nutrien work with other companies and support the community?
So yeah, contributing to and investing in the community is something that's it is really important to us. So we do have a program where we support local groups and organizations in lots of different ways, including financial support, volunteering, and stuff like that. So what we aim for is to support programs and initiatives that are related to sustainable agriculture, environmental stewardship, and diversity and inclusion. So for example, we've recently worked with groups like 4-H clubs, local schools, and the Wheatland Hospice Society, also the Egg Society, just to name a few. Other companies in the area, of course, we have close working relationships with Orica, who's our neighbor, and TC Energy, who we also work quite closely with.
Great. And another roundtable question. I'll start with you, Georgina. How would you find people in general in the community?
Welcoming. When we came out here, neighbors came, knocked on our door, said hi, let us know if you need anything, kind of helped to guide us a little bit through some of the stuff, because coming from the city, there's amenities in the city that you don't have out here and you don't always know and don't always are prepared for when you first move out of the city. So they were really great that way and helpful. I mean, when you need help, all you got to do is put your hand up, and that we really appreciate and like out here.
Sounds great. And anything to add to that, Jen?
I have to agree. You take your dogs for a walk and everybody you meet on the street waves at you. I mean, coming onto this tonight, we all know each other. It's just that atmosphere. It's nice.
Great. And how about you, Mark?
Yeah, I would agree. Like everyone around this area is just so nice and friendly, and they really want to get to know you. I mean, opening the business was just so easy. I already knew everybody, and they were all supportive and everything. So it's just such a great community to live in, especially with kids and stuff like that in the school. It's just
excellent. And Chris, anything to add?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like I say, there's always people willing to kind of go out of their way to help out, and lots of people that volunteer for lots of different things. So it kind of has a good small community feeling. It's just lots of good people.
Great. Yeah, and it sounds like with businesses and the community and the service clubs and the groups, it really sounds like everybody just on all different levels takes that feeling of inclusion and stuff just right across. So that's great. So last question, and it'll be a roundtable. Let's start with you, Jen. Do you have any great stories about things that have happened in Carseland, just in the community? Just some things that generally someone outside the community wouldn't know.
Well, my kids have learned that it takes a village to raise a child, and they have learned that they can't get away with anything because there's eyes everywhere. So that's been nice for me and maybe not so nice for them, but in the same sense, if they've ever been in trouble, somebody's right there to help them out as well.
Excellent. And Mark, anything that you got in your encyclopedia history of Carseland?
I'm not sure about great stories that I can think of right now, but just a lot of really good times, a lot of big community things like all the events the Ag puts on, like a lot of good Aggie Days memories, and the what's it called, the big auction that they do once a year. It's always, and it's like everybody comes out. There's not one person missing usually. So just always a great time.
Sounds great. And Chris, how about you?
Yeah, it's hard to pick a specific story. I've lived and worked here for quite a while, and I've had lots of good experiences. I'm thinking especially of like the curling rink. Lots of good nights there, bonspiels and stuff, and the Lions barbecue is always a great one. So yeah, it's lots of good times. It's hard to pick one.
Okay. Georgina, how about you?
I think one of the best ones for me is I get up pretty early to go to work in the morning, and when I pull out at 4:45 and I see dads out there flooding the rink to get it flooded for the kids so that they're going to have ice when it gets cold enough, and they're out there shoveling and scraping, and they're all volunteers, and there's just dads that want to be able to skate with their kids. That to me means the world. We got the rink built, but we have volunteers that help maintain it. So I think that's probably one of the best ones I have.
Sounds great. Well, I want to thank you all for participating on this conversation tonight. And I really appreciate your time. I know everybody's had a busy day, and we're doing this in the evening, and I really appreciate you sharing your stories and talking about Carseland and what a great community it is. And again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This WC conversation will be uploaded onto our YouTube channel on infinitewc.ca, and you can also find links to our podcast platforms and listen to this in an audio format. And again, thanks again, everybody.
Thank you.